Hey, this is Brett Gursky. Welcome to another episode of On the List. We are coming to you from the BLEAV network. It's March 2026, and this is an encore presentation of our episode with Michael B. Jordan, who just won the Oscar for Best Actor for his role in Sinners. Michael was a guest on my podcast back in February 2013. We had just gotten back from the Sundance Film Festival, where Michael's movie Fruitvale Station had premiered. It was also the feature directorial debut of a new filmmaker named Ryan Coogler. The movie won both the Grand Jury Prize and the Audience Award, which only a few films have done. I knew I had just witnessed something magical happen, and that Michael's life would never be the same. I wanted to capture the magic of that moment, so we recorded this interview while we were still on that Sundance high. We did a deep dive into Michael's life and career. We talked about how a kid from Newark, New Jersey made it in Hollywood, including his TV shows like The Wire, Friday Night Lights, and Parenthood, and his movies like Chronicle and, of course, Fruitvale Station. I knew he would win an Oscar someday, and we talked about that too. I hope you enjoy this encore presentation of On the List with Michael B. Jordan. Without further ado, my first guest has just arrived, the star of Fruitvale, Michael B. Jordan. Hey, Michael, what is going on?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you here. We've been talking about it for a while. This couldn't be better timing.
Finally made it happen. I'm up here.
You're finally back in L.A.
I know, right? I missed it. The sun was missing me.
The sun was missing you?
It was.
We were in the snow together at Sundance. There's so much I want to talk to you about today. So first things first, I'm guessing you are still coming down from a bit of a Sundance high.
I am still on cloud nine right now.
You're still on cloud nine.
Yeah, I think it has.
It couldn't have gone better.
It really, honestly, my highest hopes for Sundance was actually getting in. And
just getting in?
Just getting into Sundance. I've never been before. It was my first time, and literally, it just kind of
exceeded expectations.
All expectations. I mean, the bar is really high.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, before you got here, I was saying that Fruitvale won the Audience Award and the Grand Jury Prize.
It did.
Which is insane.
Which doesn't normally happen.
No, I think it's happened once. It happened with Precious.
It happened with Precious. I think we're the fourth film ever to do that in the history of Sundance, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. For people who don't know, the Audience Award gets voted on at the premiere. They give out, and every screening actually, they give out a ballot, and you pick, you rank it like 1 to 4.
Okay.
I voted best, which I helped contribute. I think you all did, right? Did you get to vote?
No, I didn't even know they were doing votings at all.
They handed out ballots. And so that's how the Audience Award is picked. And then the Grand Jury Prize is like this esteemed panel of filmmakers. So the fact
board.
that a movie can resonate with the audience and also with this like esteemed panel of the board.
So many times like the board doesn't really, doesn't always necessarily agree,
right.
Or they come on a different, like a judging.
They're looking at the filmmaking where the
Exactly.
audience is wondering how they felt, So it's only the beginning for you with Fruitvale, because this next year is just going to be, the movie's going to be released, there's going to be the real premiere, there's going to be hopefully Oscar season, so this is just the beginning of the Fruitvale journey.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing.
It is, just to kind of see it come, come to fruition, from reading it.
Yeah, tell me how you got involved with Fruitvale. Was it just a script that came across?
Yeah, it was. I just got back from doing Chronicle out in South Africa, and I was talking to my team about what I wanted to do next, and literally a gritty independent was on my slate, something that I really wanted to do.
Right.
Because you just kind of want to strip away the bells and whistles and just get down to the grittiness of acting.
Yeah, challenge yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And I've never. I've never been a lead of a film before.
Right. Yeah, this is your movie. This is the Michael B. Jordan show, for sure. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was just definitely something that, I felt as though I was mature enough and ready to kind of tackle that, that obstacle. And, my agency, Scott Schachter, did a great job with tracking this project down. Actually, Ryan was in the Sundance Film Lab with a friend of his who just so happened to work at UTA.
Right, Ryan Coogler. He's a writer-director
from Fruitvale.
Really talented.
And he, after meeting him, he told me that he wrote the project in the beginning with me in mind.
Really?
Which was, a big compliment.
It's the biggest compliment.
It was like, really? You knew who I was and you actually wrote it for me? Okay, that was pretty cool.
What was it, Friday Night Lights or The Wire? Or
I think it was Friday Night Lights and The Wire. It was kind of like, he's been tracking my career for since kind of like the beginning,
right.
And he told his friend that he was interested in me playing Oscar. She said that she worked at UTA, and she said that she would get it to Scott Schachter, my agent.
Wow.
She literally delivered the script, to Scott, and he forwarded it over to me. I read it. I cried 2-3 times.
I'm sure.
Just reading it.
Yeah.
And we set up a meeting, sat down with Ryan. As soon as we had that conversation, it was just a no-brainer. Just kind of like, here It's unique when you meet a director that is collaborative and kind of, you know, is open to change and knows exactly what he wants. You know,
right.
It's a fine line between, you know, a director, you know, getting exactly what he wants.
And you're almost the same age too, so you probably just clicked.
Yeah, we vibed out. We definitely vibed out, and it just made perfect sense.
And so you mentioned he was in part of the Sundance Lab.
Yes.
So this was like almost like a class project for him, right?
Pretty much.
The script.
This was his senior project over at USC, and then it got the attention of his professors and Forrest Whitaker, and then it got it got accepted into the Sundance Film Lab and flushed it out. Sundance was very generous to us throughout the shooting process. They gave us several grants, you know, to get our film made. This is definitely a project that they believed in.
So that's like full circle, Sundance Lab to then win Sundance.
Pretty crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
And so Forrest Whitaker, when did he get involved?
He got involved in the early process of getting the script, you know, developed, you know, early producing, you know, getting the team assembled. Nina Yang over at Significant Productions, she got everybody in line.
Right.
Everything worked out great.
And so now when did Octavia Spencer get involved? So Octavia Spencer plays your mother in the movie.
Yeah, she came on board right after I was attached. Right after I got on board with the project, they went out. I think they wanted to lock down Oscar first and then kind of assembled everybody else around myself.
So do you think Octavia winning Best Supporting Actress helped this movie get made?
100%. I think definitely that clout between two Oscar winners, between Forrest and Octavia.
And Forrest Whitaker.
Definitely, you know, it helped a lot when you're shooting a movie for under $1 million, and you know you wanted to, you know, the best quality possible, and shooting at the real locations and getting favors called in, having those two people, you know, making those phone calls and writing emails and letters, definitely it can help out.
People don't realize sometimes, they wonder, you know, so someone won an Oscar, like it's just an award on their shelf, but it really enables that. It gives them the opportunity to make those smaller movies in between the big blockbuster movies.
100%.
And that's sort of how the career works. It's like you make the big movies
for certain
to make
reasons,
money,
to make money. You do things for the passion. You do, you know, you do certain films for certain reasons.
Yeah, Fruitvale feels like a passion project. I mean, everything about it. And so you just said you shot at the real location?
Yeah, we shot literally where Oscar worked at. You know,
really,
the BART platform where he was shot at and killed, literally on the same block where the bullet hole is still there. They never repaired it. They never moved it. It's like still on the platform. We shot right over that. It was a very intense, you know, shoot. You know, it was very real, and it was
I'm surprised that the subway station let you guys shoot there.
Uncle Forrest kind of came in.
And that's where Forrest Whitaker comes in.
Uncle Forrest kind of, you know, put a little...
Because it doesn't show them in the best light. It doesn't show the Fruitvale station, but I guess it's a story that they know is important that needs to be told.
100%. It's something, and it's not their proudest moment, and it's like, you know, whatever they could do to kind of help rectify the situation and, you know, and move on and move forward and show their support to the community. I think that was the biggest thing for them, and they definitely stepped up in a big way for allowing us to shoot there as much as they did. Yeah.
So for people, most people haven't seen the movie yet because it's not out yet. But for people who haven't seen it, to explain who Oscar Grant is. Who is this guy?
Oscar Grant is a 22-year-old Bay Area, you know, kid who was, you know, coming home from San Francisco on New Year's Day with his best friends and his girlfriend at the time, and he was detained, beat, handcuffed, and shot in the back, murdered by the BART Transit Police, and it was all caught on video footage by the train passengers, and that's kind of what sparked the uproar. It went viral. You know, you couldn't, you know, turn a channel without actually seeing it. You know, it was all over the internet, and then it became nationwide, and it became a big deal. But the movie takes place the last day of his life. So the movie is the last 24 hours of his life. Yeah. And
it starts with the actual footage from somebody's cell phone capturing the real.
The most like the most famous like angle. It starts off with that because we wanted to let the audience know right off the top that this is what happens, you know, and we're not going to beat you over the head with the obvious, you know. So you already know what's going to happen in the end. But we wanted to show sometimes when, you know, when there's a case between, you know, a guy and a police officer shooting, you know, when somebody loses their life, that person's always depicted in either the worst light possible, or a complete saint, right? And we really wanted to, you know, just have him. We wanted to show his humanity. We wanted to give him his humanity
a real
back,
person,
you know,
with flaws
and all.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a perfect person, but it's in the trying. You know, Oscar was trying to get his life together. He was
Right.
trying to do the right thing. He was trying to rectify so many relationships in his life.
Yeah.
You know, with the people that he most cared about, which was his mom, his daughter, and his fiance.
Yeah.
And his friends. And we really wanted to just show how he was with everybody, and just, you know, showed it in a real way.
Yeah, and so it is the last 24 hours of his life,
Yep.
but you guys used flashbacks to give even more.
To give you more of an idea of kind of
of
kind of the person that he was and where he was coming from and the type of things that he's been through. You know, to kind of, it's all about layers. You know, we wanted to show the layers of Oscar. You know, everybody. I mean, Brett, I could ask 5 of our friends what they think about you, and you'll get a variation. Everybody will have
hopefully
their own.
Good things.
Hopefully good things,
Yeah.
you know, but it'll all be different, different things. So,
Right.
like, you know, we can't judge one person off of one's
Absolutely.
perspective. So we wanted to get a cumulative, like, perspective of Oscar and just kind of blend that in and make the realest version that we could. And,
Right.
And that's exactly what we
Well,
did.
usually in a movie, you know, there's the good guy and the bad guy. That's what was so interesting about Fruitvale, and that's why that character was so complex, and that's why your performance was so impressive, because of the layers. So, like, my first reaction was, you know, you start out, you're charming, you know, you're great with your daughter in the movie, and, you know, you're always, like, flirting with your girlfriend, right? You're not married in the movie. So, and then, you know, you're a good son to your mom, and you're trying to, you know, make her birthday great on that day, and you're helping your sister out by getting her the card, and so you're this good guy, and then, you know, you go to the supermarket where Oscar used to work, and you're flirting with a girl at the deli counter, and then on a dime, you have an altercation with your former boss.
Yeah.
And I remember I was sitting there in the theater, and I was just like, how did he do that? It's like, I don't even think the camera cuts. You walk down the aisle in the supermarket, and you're a different person. And I was like, where did Michael get that from? It was like, you know, charming and flirtatious, and then intimidating and scary. And
see, and that was one of the things that we, like, kind of, you know, set out to do. We wanted to show, we really, I wanted to do it as a winner.
Yeah,
it
felt like it. It felt like it.
And that's how we shot. We shot a couple takes of it as a one.
Yeah, you just feel like you're along for the ride. You don't even notice the camera's cutting. You're just sort of traveling with this guy.
That's exactly. That's the feel that we were going for.
Yeah.
Rachel Morrison's a great DP. She really, like, in camera woman. She was our camera woman as well.
Yeah,
she just really handled it very well. But we really tried to get it as a oneer. And with him walking in, his interaction with his best friend, with the girl, with the boss, and then, you know, the total 360 when he leaves, how he lies to his friend to kind of keep him at ease. He doesn't want to make. He was trying to please everybody.
Right, and he wants his old job back so he can get his life back in order. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. So it was one of those. It was one of those scenes that we definitely prided ourselves on, and trying to, like, show as many different sides of Oscar in one scene as we could.
Yeah, and throughout the whole movie, like, my Twitter review, I only had 140 characters. I was saying to Adrian Bellani, I'm like, I need more characters to write this. But I said how the character goes from charming to intimidating to heartbreaking, and it's just this, like, roller coaster of emotions. And, you know, when you see Oscar with his daughter, it's just, I mean,
yeah.
And you know what's coming. And, you know, he's telling her he's going to bring her to Chuck E. Cheese the next day. That's when everyone starts crying, and then through the rest of the movie.
Well, you know what happens. You know, sometimes, you know, a father that's not around, you know, and he feels bad, you know, because he's always gone. He was in and out of jail a lot, and he missed a lot of his daughter's life. You know, sometimes when you come back in, you want to make those, you know, anything that you want.
Moments, yeah.
Any of those moments that, you know, Chuck E. Cheese, let's go do that. Not necessarily meaning that he planned on, you know, not doing it or following through. Like, he was going to do that.
Yeah.
He was going to take her to Chuck E. Cheese. And, like, those are the type of moments that, you know, as a young parent, or even as when you get older, you know, sometimes you just you lose track of time and you want to hold on to those moments.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to show that.
How did you access, like, playing a young father? Like, where did that come from? How did you relate to the daughter so well and having a kid if you don't have kids in real life?
No kids in real life.
Right.
Not on some type of wood.
Right.
I'm good right now. I'm good. But honestly, it was, you know, I have a lot of little cousins.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about my nephew when I was watching it. You know,
little cousins and stuff. You know, and
yeah.
you try to substitute different relationships. And you know, that girl Ariana, the actress that played Tatiana, she was so good, and she was so giving. Her eyes are just so, you know, present. You know, so it was very easy to kind of have that connection. And then it's just like, you know, how would you feel? You know, like that's your daughter. You just try to, you know, take your life experiences and just try to apply them as much as you can to those situations, and, you know, hopefully, you just hope that it comes off the way, the realistic.
Well, I think the father-daughter relationship is what stuck with people and why it was so popular and why it got the audience award on top of everything else. And not to give too much away from the movie, but I do want to mention one more scene. It flashes back to the character in prison with his mom. I mean, you and Octavia Spencer just facing off in this prison scene. I mean, what was that like?
That was
intimidating.
That was probably my favorite scene.
Yeah. It's the scariest because we see a temper in the Oscar character in the past.
Yeah, he has a short fuse.
Short fuse.
He has a very quick trigger, and it's that was something that was unanimous between all of his friends. Anybody I talked to, that was something that everybody said.
Yeah,
that, Oscar, he.
But it wasn't completely out of nowhere. Like he was defending himself.
Yeah, he has a reason. He was a hothead sometimes.
Yeah.
He could definitely get there when he needed to get there.
Right.
And it was one of those scenes where me and Coog, everyone. Not to get off topic or get off, the scene or whatever, but every scene, me and Ryan, we approached every scene like it was its own movie.
Yeah. The prison scene does feel like its own movie in a way.
Yeah, we wanted to have every scene to have its own beginning and end.
Yeah, exactly.
And Octavia was so challenging.
She's so good in this movie too. I really think she could get nominated again, even though she just won for The Help. It was one of those things where you see something and you're like, okay, that wasn't a fluke. You know?
Exactly. Like, she's the real deal,
The real deal.
And for me, just to kind of go up against her, it was fun. We had a really, really good time shooting that scene, and we only had limited hours, because we shot
such a low
in
budget.
San Quentin.
Oh, really?
We shot in the prison.
Was that the prison he was there?
Yeah.
So that's really, like, you had the spirit of him all around you.
All around, man. That's something that I definitely prayed a lot to him, meditated, and asked for his presence around me, because there was no video, no audio of him. There was just like, hey, man, just be with me when I do this, because I'm representing you right now.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of how I approached every scene, and
And in the Q&A after the movie, Octavia said the same thing, that she doesn't have children in real life, but she accessed nieces and nephews to play your mother. And it's again, I don't want to talk too much about it, so I'll ruin the whole movie. But there are scenes where she has to go to places that are just heartbreaking. Like I've never even. Some movies shy away from showing the kind of stuff that they showed her going through in this. But what else was I going to say? So at the premiere, the real family of Oscar Grant was at the screening. So I had no idea. I heard people crying throughout the movie, thinking it was, Sundance moviegoers, not realizing that rows and rows of people sitting right around you were Oscar's real family.
I sat right behind his mom.
Did you know that it was his, that they were there?
When I walked in, I said hello to everybody, spoke to everybody, and this was the last time I seen them was.
Oh, you had met them? Oh, okay.
I spent just to give you a little, my prep was, I spent a lot of time with his mom and his daughter and his girlfriend and all his best friends. That was my homework. That was how I became Oscar, was getting to know him through his friends and the people that knew him the best.
Yeah.
Hanging out, barbecues, drinking, playing dominoes with his boys, just reminiscing, just kind of hearing the stories about how he used to be and what they used to do and stuff like that. And, trying to, spend time with his daughter a little bit, just kind of get a vibe on her.
So they cooperated. Because I feel like a lot of times a movie based on a real person, you can't access their family. You can't really get to anybody.
Because once a tragedy like this happens, first of all, you have to be respectful of the family. And then there's so many people trying to, be opportunistic people that's coming around trying to take advantage of the situation.
Right.
And the one thing that we had that no other filmmaker had was the fact we had Ryan Coogler, who was from the Bay Area, that was 6 degrees and 6 people away from the family. He knew people who knew Oscar. He knew the story very well. And when you talk to Ryan, you believe in him.
Yeah.
He has the type of person. He's that type of personality where you believe in him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where he definitely made the family feel comfortable enough to give him permission to do this story.
Yeah, and it's an important story that I'm sure they want told, and
definitely
it does show. it shows his flaws, but it generally shows him
as
a good
person.
light. You're rooting for him.
Definitely,
right?
Definitely. So basically, his mom was sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
Said hello to everybody, sat down, and during the whole movie, I'm just looking at them, looking at the screen.
Had they seen it before?
Nah, this is the first time they've seen it.
Had you seen it?
I saw it one time prior to that, but this is the first time I've ever seen it in a big movie theater with the lights and the music and all that stuff. So it was my first time seeing it again. And I keep checking in on them, seeing I see them talking to each other, and I'm trying to eavesdrop and hear what they're saying. Trying to really pay attention because I'm so nervous because their validation is everything.
Yeah.
It's everything.
The only review that really matters
is
his family.
Review that really matters to me and Ryan was the family, honestly, at this point.
And for them to have to sit through it, I mean, not only are they watching his life, but they're reliving the tragedy. So
exactly.
That the fact that they were able to sit there and do that, I had no idea they were there until the Q&A.
Okay.
And when they stood up, I was like, oh my gosh, it was already emotional.
Woo!
And then they stand up. I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
Well, the mom doesn't really talk. Wanda doesn't speak that often. She's
the father, the uncle,
the
and
uncle.
aunt.
Yeah,
Right.
Her brother and sister do most of the talking on her behalf. Yeah, because she's just kind of like, she's been through the ringer, and I can only imagine what it's like losing, like that way. And
did Octavia work with her? Or
yeah, they spoke. They had a couple dinners. They spent their time.
That's amazing.
Together. Everybody had their own process and had their own opportunity to go individually with
That's
with
really
who they
interesting
needed to kind of like get their homework from.
Right.
And like my biggest thing, honestly, of that premiere was when his aunt stood up and said there were certain scenes in the movie where I couldn't tell the difference between my nephew and you.
Oof.
It just kind of yeah.
What did that feel like? So when the movie ends, the lights come on, everyone was applauding. I think everyone stood up, and then you go down there for the Q&A with Octavia and Ryan Coogler, and you're just
goosebumps.
Yeah,
hot flashes, emotional,
out of body experience.
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to hold back emotions, not trying to cry in front of all those people.
Yeah, you guys held it together.
Trying to hold it together.
Yeah.
And then you hear those type of comments. It's just like, it wasn't that many questions. Everybody just wanted to tell us.
Yeah, that was what was really interesting. There wasn't really much to ask. It was a girl sitting right in front of me stood up. She said she's from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
She's never seen a movie about.
So you were up left.
Yeah, I was behind you to the left. Yeah. And so she was saying, she's never seen a movie represent where she's from so so realistically.
Yep.
She's like, I'm from there. I know that world, and you captured it. And thanked you guys.
Exactly. Everybody was just thanking us for just telling the story, and that was just like, it was very humbling. The whole experience is very humbling.
Yeah.
And it's just
Octavia, she said some interesting things too in the Q&A about how it was the most diverse crew she's ever worked with. Age and gender and race and
Mexican,
everything.
White, black, just all over the place. Everybody, everybody was just. I mean, that's one of the things about the Bay is being so diverse. It's like a melting pot, similar to New York. You have so many different cultures, all living together in harmony. But sometimes you have your feuds.
When they're on the train, it's a mix of everybody.
Exactly. So it's like the crew was definitely a reflection of the story in a way. People coming together, and like doing something great.
Yeah. It was an amazing thing. I mean. Yeah. The whole thing. I'm so glad I got to be there, for real. Adrian was there and Erica Madio was there.
Yeah, man. It was my family. My family was there.
Yeah.
It meant the world to me to have everybody there, man.
Yeah. It was a hard ticket to get because it wasn't at the Eccles. They should have had the premiere at the Eccles, which is 1,000 people, and the premiere was at the Mark.
At the Mark, yeah.
I mean, it did show at the Eccles later, but the premiere they
did. Which sold out.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
because the hype by then, the word had spread.
Yeah.
But that was at the Mark was the very first one, and I knew I had to do it. I went with Charlie Jennings, who's a friend of mine. He's an agent at CAA, and we were like, we have to be at Fruitvale.
Dude, it was one of those things where like we were in the car, me, Kenny, my manager, Scott Schachter, my agent, my Eric, Holly, everybody. Yeah, exactly. We're all like, okay, cool. Like Brett, we got to get Brett. Brett has to come to this show. Like,
I'm glad I got to see it. Yeah,
sure,
of course.
Yeah, dude.
Well, that's the other thing with Sundance too is there's hundreds of movies to choose from, but there's certain ones you want to see. Exactly. And I didn't know it was going to go on to win all those awards. I just was seeing it because you were in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I had no idea what I was in for. I was like, oh my god. By the end, I'm like, I think this kid's going to be nominated for an Oscar next year.
Dude, man, don't.
So then, there were certain benchmarks happened. So I know. Well, it's hard.
It's something that every time I hear it, I cringe.
Right.
Well,
but the reason I bring it up is because Weinstein Company bought the movie for $2 million, and Harvey Weinstein lives to win Oscars.
This is very true.
I mean, right now he's getting Jennifer Lawrence an Oscar. Last year he got Meryl Streep and Jean Dujardin Oscars, and The Artist. So
hey man, he's got a good
he's
track
really
record.
good at it. And you know what? He has a bad rap for the politics, but when he's pushing something, it's good. Like I agree with Silver Linings Playbook. I agree with Jennifer Lawrence. So when he's pushing something, it's because he really believes in it and he thinks it deserves it. And so the first benchmark is the premiere, and the second benchmark is Weinstein Company buys it for $2 million, and the third benchmark is it wins the awards. So as each thing was happening, what was that like when you find out that it sold to the Weinstein Company?
I was hearing talks of it was the first bidding war of Sundance this year.
Well, it happened. I think it happened at the party. We went to the party after, and it was already being talked about. I heard Harvey Weinstein's name. I was like an hour later. So it was immediate.
Everything was happening
really
pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I was hearing things from all over the place, not really trying to pay that much attention to one person or one rumor to the next. So I was just kind of like just honestly listening to my team and just kind of staying focused on the press, because after the premiere it was just kind of like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
But
Weinstein Company was perfect for it. It's like
it was between like I think it was like 3 different companies involved, but Weinstein was kind of the front runner. He was very serious about it, and they went out and they acquired it. And when I heard about it, it was just like, wow, okay, like that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like
now people are gonna see it.
It's like one of those things where you see somebody's career or see opportunities happen to certain actors, like from the outside looking in, and you're like, like, oh, wow, that's how it happens, or okay, cool, that happened pretty fast, or that was overnight. And then when it happens to you, it's just like, wow, this really can happen.
Yeah,
it's just very. It still hasn't completely sank in.
Yeah,
it's just like something that I'm just kind of I'm just thankful for, and just kind of I'm just enjoying the ride.
The ride just started. I mean, you're going to be talking about Fruitvale for a long time for the next year. So you said overnight success. So actually, it's a perfect transition, because this is where it becomes sort of like inside the actor's studio.
Okay.
Because no one really is. Yeah, exactly. No one really is an overnight success. And so I have on here, well, first of all, just to give people a background, we've known each other for a long time. I think at least 5 or 6 years.
It's like 6 years.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah. Well, as long as I met you, I guess originally through Ryan Rahman.
Through Ryan,
I think, right?
Yeah.
And so I've known him for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I moved out here 7 years ago, and I think I want to say like it might have been it's going on 7.
Really, I know.
It's going on 7
it's a long
years.
time.
It is a long time.
And so you're somebody who I always wanted to work with, still want to work with. Hopefully, I can get you now that Fruitvale is coming out. But you're somebody that I knew was going to, like, that the world was going to find out about. For real.
That's crazy.
Like, it's true. Like, it's like there's just people you talk about for years, like, oh, I'm friends with this person, they're so talented. This person,
Yeah.
And, they're the guy from this, or they're the kid from that. And, like, it takes the world time to catch up. But when we're out here in L.A., we spot the talent among our friends early, and then it's up to the rest of the world to catch up. So, I mean, the only time we did get to work together, I directed a PSA for MTV for Get Schooled, and I pulled together 12 friends who helped me out, who were all on TV shows or movies that took place in high school or college, because it was about staying in school.
Yep.
And everyone had to recite certain lines, and everyone took turns. And when you came out there, you ad-libbed. And I actually have to show it to you. We put together a spot of just you.
Really?
Oh, you haven't seen the finished
I haven't seen anything
I'll show you.
Okay.
There's a 30-second spot that was on MTV where everyone had a line.
Okay.
But then I had the editor put together individual PSAs of each actor, and there's like a 45-second spot of just you ad-libbing, and it's awesome. And I remember getting chills while we were filming it, being like, this kid is the real deal. Like, you went you just went off the script of the statistics of staying in school, and you talked about how all the parents out there have to get involved, and grandparents and guardians, and it takes a village to keep kids in school and to raise them. And I was just like blown away. And that's just a PSA.
Yeah.
So then if I had a script like Fruitvale, who knows what would happen. But so we did get to work together on that. But so I looked it up, and your first credit that I have for you is 1999.
Oof, yeah.
So that goes back. So you're not exactly an overnight success. You've been working at this since at least 1999. So tell people, go back to the beginning, where you're originally from and how the acting thing came about.
Well, I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah. I'm from East Brunswick, New Jersey.
I know. The Jersey boys.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So, not the Jersey Shore.
No.
Not Jersey.
Not Sopranos.
No. But, no, I'm from Jersey. My mom and dad kind of got me involved in the arts at a really, really young age, like around 11 or 12. It was just like an extracurricular. At that time, it was a lot of violence, a lot of bad things going on in Newark, and my mom and dad just really wanted to keep me busy as possible, just kind of find out what I liked, what I didn't like, just kind of like what I feel parents should do. Just like, they pay attention to the children, and they want to, see them succeed and see them good at something, and just try to, get them involved in certain things.
Were you interested in acting? Were you like a fan of movies, or how did they come up with
No, it was acting? She had a girlfriend who had 2 sons that were modeling for like the Sunday paper, for like the Star Ledger, that were just like for like Models and Toys R Us and little ads like that. And I think secretly maybe she needed some extra money, just kind of keep, whatever the case. So she was like, all right, you're getting ready to go to New York and do this. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. I can get out of school early. And
so did you start out as like a child model?
Man. No, my mom sends me random little like old photos that she finds around the house of like me and like a model. I'm like Mom, that is like so embarrassing. Please burn that. Like,
she can sell that on eBay in a couple of years.
Man, I was a rough looking kid. Anyway, so she she started off with like, I started off modeling, and what happened was her girlfriend took me just kind of crashed an audition,
right?
And then like I crashed one, and like they got me in it, and then we literally picked up a backstage newspaper. We found a manager. My name's Lori Danzinger from Persona Management in New York. I love this woman. She signed. She had an open call. My mom took me in the next day audition. She signed me that day. The next day I was going out on commercial auditions and like little print jobs, and I was just booking for like a while, for like maybe all that year.
And did you like it? You were.
I mean, it was
fun.
It was craft services.
Right.
I got out of school early.
Exactly.
It was, as a kid, like that's all you can ask for.
Exactly.
It was great, And so I did that for a while, and then she asked, did I want to go out for like television shows and films and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then I started doing that, and I started booking. I've been very successful, like at a very young age.
Yeah.
I've always consistently been working, and that's kind of where my training and my experience came from, which is kind of like just from working.
Right.
And
so you picked it up as you were going?
As I was going.
Did you take acting classes, or you never needed to?
Never took acting
so
classes.
So on set was your class?
The first time I actually got trained was probably when I went to high school. I went to Performing Arts High School. I went to Arts High, and that I had two hours a day of my drama, and that was kind of like where I really started to hone it. And then the soap opera, on my children.
Yeah. Well, first before we get to that, so 1999, I have the first credit. Tell me if this is true.
Sopranos.
Well, before that, movie credit, black and white.
Yeah.
And so I'm familiar with that movie because I was Brett Ratner's assistant for 3 years, and he was in the movie, and he's good friends with James Toback, who directed the movie. I got to know James Toback through Brett, and I went back and watched all his movies, so I know black and white. So was that your first movie?
That was my first, yes. First movie.
Yeah.
First movie. That was, I want to say, yeah, man, yeah. I remember that like crazy.
Yeah,
that was my scene was with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Right.
I was with I was walking through the park, rapping. Or
right.
Like
That's
that.
another one that's shot like a documentary.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like a movie.
Yeah, it was. I gotta actually rewatch that. It was very. It was a very. I mean, at that age, you're just doing it.
Right. It was just fun.
You're not thinking about it. You're just like the director saying, do that. Be with your friends, have a good time. Et cetera, et cetera. Don't look at the camera.
So you're real, yeah.
But
at some point you have to be like, I can't believe I'm in a movie. Right?
That wasn't the one. I think
the
first time I said I can't believe I'm in a movie was probably Hardball.
Oh, okay.
It was, the baseball movie.
Yeah.
And I actually looked at myself on screen like this, like, wow. And I'm with my two best friends, and I'm like, this is crazy. Right. We're going to sit, all right, when the movie's over, we're going to just sit here, and then we're going to walk out, and we're going to see, we're going to see how much attention I get. And then and it was all about getting girls' number at that point. You're at 13, it's like, okay, cool. How many numbers can you get at the mall? I think I took the bus there that time. It was just like, yeah.
You were having fun with that.
Just a kid having fun, yeah.
And
exactly.
so the first TV credit, like you mentioned, The Sopranos. That's not a bad way to start in television.
It's not. I was playing. I was like a bully. I was bullying Tony when had a flashback.
It was in a flashback.
When he was a little kid, it was a flashback or whatever. I was bullying him or whatever the case may be, and it was just real quick, one episode.
Yeah, but just to say you're on The Sopranos. I mean, back then when you're starting out, we talked about Sopranos a lot on here. Episode 7 was with Jamie Lynn Sigler, Meadow Soprano. So she was great, and she talked a lot about Sopranos, and it was the same kind of thing. Like, she learned by working with James Gandolfini and Edie Falco. You learn by just
being around
working
greatness.
with these experts. Yeah, it's like fake it till you make it. And so also 1999, Cosby. You got to work with Bill Cosby.
99 was a good year.
That's crazy. Yeah.
He literally, I remember because it was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Right.
And it was just like, when that was the moment where I was like, oh man, I can't go. I just can't.
Right.
I can't go.
Right.
It's like, ain't no going back. This is it. They're sitting right there. They're going to watch me. I got to be on point. And then,
what did you play on Cosby? This is not the Cosby Show on NBC.
No,
this is when he came back on CBS.
When he shot in Queens.
In Queens.
With Dougie Doug.
Right.
It was...
And Madeline Kahn, right?
Yep.
And Felicia Rashad.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. It was one and Journey Smollett, actually.
Oh, right.
That was the first time me and Journey... I got a funny story about Journey.
Okay.
Actually, that's crazy. Everything happens full circle. This is crazy.
I know. There's a lot of full circle.
So it was just really... Bill was very, very, he's very strict. He knows what he wants, but he's very fun, very cool with kids.
Did you watch the Cosby Show as a kid?
Of course.
Right. So when you're,
it's like, this is the man. This is the guy.
So you walk in and he's there.
Yeah, he's the guy, right?
Jello
so
pudding.
my guy, he gave every actor, every kid a specific, trait or characteristic. My thing was I was always going to brush my hair. I love my hair.
Okay.
So I was just brushing it. And I remember during rehearsal one time I stopped and forgot. And he's like, hey, keep brushing. Okay, so I was like brushing all throughout the scene. I was just brushing my hair.
That's so
my hair.
funny.
Yeah, it was. So, but it was like an early tool to kind of like find your niche in the scene.
So you're doing an activity?
Doing an activity, something
Right.
that kind of like that separates you from everybody else. Something that just kind of gives you something
cool.
like to work on. And at the time, it was just like, oh man, why am I brushing my hair? I'm tired. My scalp is bleeding. What are you talking about? I'm tired of brushing my hair. But then it was just like when you got older and look back at it, it was like, okay, wow, he was giving me an activity to do, something to kind of like personify me more than my dialogue, because I didn't have that much dialogue,
right?
You know, but it gave me an action.
So you stood out.
So yeah, it was.
Well, Bill Cosby's just notorious. Like, he's known for being great with child actors. I mean, Keisha Knight Pulliam and Raven Simone on Cosby Show. And I remember some of my favorite moments from the original Cosby Show are when, you know, Rudy would have friends over for a sleepover, and remember he gave had the kid like ride, and they had the kid ride on his knee or whatever until he fell off, and he did kids say the darndest things. Yeah, he's just, that's his thing. So he passed on some wisdom to you.
He definitely did at an early age.
That's pretty cool.
And then it just kind of, I mean, I don't know what you got. What else you got over there?
Well, after Cosby, I have a big break in 2002.
2002 with
The Wire.
Yeah, man, The Wire was.
You played Wallace.
Yeah, that was when I first.
That's a big break.
Fell in love with acting. I think was The Wire. That's when I think it was a mixture between Hardball and The Wire. The Wire solidified it. The Hardball was just kind of like I don't know. It was a great opportunity, great movie. As far as acting wise, you know, I got actually Andre Royal, who played Bubbles, was very influential in that for me, because when I had to play when my character got hooked on drugs, it was like I didn't have anything to I had no idea. I was like, what? I don't even know what this is. How do I play this? And he kind of took me to side, you know, for a couple of days, you know, and just kind of like, you know, talk with me and just kind of, you know, vibed out, because he's been playing this drug addict for so, you know, on the show or whatever, and he did a really, really good job. And when he gave me the head to toe feeling, like, of what it feels like, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of really like described to me what I would be going through at that time, and like, just imagine yourself that he really talked me through it. He talked me through the whole scene, and he kind of gave me like not line reads, but he just told me like this is how you pull it off.
Interesting.
And then when we did it, I remember not remembering. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I remember not being there. I remember just being lost in like whatever I was doing at that moment. It was just the first time I fell into a character and Michael wasn't present at all. It was all Wallace.
You lost yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think for actors, it's always trying to find that feeling again of not being present. You know, I think that's what acting. I think that's
right. You just let it all go, and you become the character.
Let it go. I think that's awesome.
That
for me. That's what keeps bringing me back. You know, is trying to find that feeling again, and more
from The Wire.
And that's where it started. That was the first time I actually really lost myself. And then from the next project, like, damn, how can I get this feeling again?
Well, what's interesting, the pattern seems to be all these like experienced actors sharing wisdom with you and prepping you.
And that's what it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to. The older generation is supposed to give back. Because how can you keep this thing going if you don't share knowledge? You know, and I think that it doesn't happen enough today. Yeah, you know, in the industry, period. But you know, you get people every now and again that's willing to share, and you know,
and you still remember it. You still remember that?
I'll never forget it, because I'm gonna pass it on to people that's coming up behind me. Right. That's my job.
And so The Wire is one of the most critically acclaimed shows ever. It's one of those shows that when you ask people what's your favorite show or what was the best show ever on TV, they say The Wire. And what's amazing about it is people are still finding it because they watch the whole season on DVD, or it might be on Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix.
That's the kind of thing. It's like word is still spreading from the show from 10 years ago. People are still saying, you didn't watch The Wire? Yeah. Go watch it. And then you start the season and you watch a whole season and you watch another, you know. And so it's almost like it was underrated at the time, and now it's still finding an audience. Yep. And I've been out with you where, you know, a friend of mine will say, like, you know Wallace from The Wire? And they ask to meet you, for real. Like, people are like, you know him from The Wire? Like, it was like, it put you on the map, kind of.
Yeah, it definitely did.
And the fact that people still, I mean, you're older now, and they still remember you as this teenage kid. Like, oh, my God, how do you know him from The Wire?
I get random shout-outs in the street. Where's Wallace?
Right.
I'm right here, man. Right here.
It's amazing.
Alive and kicking.
It's really cool to be, you know, part of something that resonates with people for so long, you know? So that changed your life, that show.
For sure. Just to have the impact on people, you know, it's like it's a big responsibility, but it's a cool feeling, man, because if you can take somebody through different ranges of emotions, it's just like...
Have you gone back and watched it at all? Or no?
I have not.
You'd probably be really proud of it, I'm sure. Like now,
I would probably tear myself to
really?
pieces. Yes. I don't know.
But maybe you didn't realize at the time you were part of something so,
no,
monumental.
we were only supposed to go one season.
Right.
Like that was it. We weren't supposed to, we didn't have a 5-season, deal or whatever. So, and then after the second season, I think we were supposed to get canceled again. Yeah, it was one
of those shows that was always on the bubble.
On the bubble, man. And then after the third season.
It never got like the Emmy love that it needed. I think it would now. I don't know. I don't think people were ready for it or something. I don't know.
See, and I think that, exactly. They weren't ready for it. Sometimes it takes, people to kind of jump on the bandwagon.
Even Sopranos took a while. When it was Sopranos at the Emmys, like the West Wing kept winning. We talked to Jamie Sligler about this. And then finally Sopranos won because people, were still in that West Wing NBC network TV mode, and they weren't ready to give an award to an HBO show that had violence and sex. And, sometimes it, like we were talking about, it takes the rest of the world time to catch up. Yep. Yeah. And was that just Wire was just a regular audition that you went in and
I went in for Alexa Fogel, casting director.
Yeah.
I auditioned for Bodie actually in the first place. Her and Clark Peterson thought I was too old.
Oh, interesting.
I'm too young, rather. She's too young to play Bodie, so they said come back in for Wallace. Read for Wallace. Booked it. Got it. And then,
So after The Wire, so you ended up doing All My Children, which I didn't know that until I was doing my research on Michael B. Jordan.
That's how I met Rotman.
Really?
That's how I met Ryan because he was
Did he do All My Children?
Kirsten.
Oh, right.
At the time.
Dated one of the actors from the
he dated Kirsten at the time. And
so you were doing everything in New York. So this is all, because All My Children was New York. So that was 2003 to 2006. And it's funny because I knew about All My Children growing up. A friend of mine growing up, her name's Christina Bear. Okay. And her mom, Felicia Bear, was the executive producer for years of All My Children, probably before you were involved. But it was always one of those things, you would go to a party at her house and there's pictures on the wall of her with Susan Lucci holding Emmys, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So All My Children was always like in the consciousness, So that's really cool. And 3 years on a soap opera, that's a lot of work. I don't think people realize how much work a soap opera is.
A soap opera is a machine.
It's
100 plus pages a day.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And probably one take. You don't have time to do more than one take.
One or two takes, something like that.
But that's great training.
That's
especially
where I got
for
my
independent movies in the future when you don't have the time to do that many takes.
Exactly. That was my training. That was where I learned to really memorize lines. I would pick up lines like that now. It's just kind of that was my training. That was my acting class.
That's great.
Sure.
Now, do people tell you after The Wire, don't do a soap opera? Or
I think it was a question that I had with my manager, and it was literally at the time it wasn't that many roles out there like that, and she was just my manager Lori was just keep working.
Right.
Keep working and get better. She said, "Keep working and get better."
That is great advice.
And that's what I did.
You played a character, Reggie Montgomery.
I did. I was Susan Lucci's adopted son.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. And working with her, it was I've been around so many people that was doing it at the biggest, the highest level
it's incredible.
of what they do.
Right.
So it was just she's awesome. She's always giving me great advice. I can see her now, and she'll give me so much love, and vice versa. I don't know. I'm just so happy to be a part of that All My Children family.
Yeah.
Some people look at a soap opera on their resume as a blemish. I embrace it. It's amazing.
Listen, a lot of people started in soap operas. Julianne Moore, Meg Ryan,
Lawrence Fishburne. I started, but they passed their way through. Yeah. And it's one of those things. Soap opera fans are amazing. They support you. They're diehards. They support you in everything that you do. And they're the ones that keep you ticking and keep you relevant a lot of times. So it's I embraced the whole soap opera thing.
Yeah. And so were you part of it? Didn't it move to L.A. from New York to L.A.?
I've been gone.
Right.
Yeah, I've been gone. Once I left, I moved out here to L.A. I literally I met Rodman at the Daytime Emmys because that's how I would come back out here at the Daytime Emmys.
Oh, no way. Oh, right. They moved him from Radio City to L.A.
Yep. So I came out here, met him at an after party one day, met Adrian that same night.
Oh, right. He was on Passions.
Yeah. Met Adrian that same night.
Another person who started in
didn't like Adrian at first.
Really?
Hated him.
Well, you were on rival soap operas.
It wasn't even that. It was just I didn't like him. I just didn't like him at the time. I was
That's so funny.
Whatever. Then it was just literally
your best friend.
Best
brother.
Friend. It's like my brother. Yeah, it's my brother.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So that that's very interesting to see how each job led to who you worked with, like Susan Lucci, and then who you become friends with, like Ryan and Adrian, and then
and
it just grows and grows.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody when I moved to LA.
No?
I knew one person. Yeah.
Wow.
My camp counselor, Jeff Wadlow, I knew, and he just directed Kick-Ass too, so he's doing really well.
Nice.
But he had been my camp counselor in 1997, and he was in LA, trying to become a director, and I'm like, well, I want to do that too, and I moved to LA and I remember met him at Coffee Bean, I think, for coffee, and I was like, now what? You know, I was like living at the Oakwood Apartments, and I'm like, what do I do?
Everybody lived at the
Yeah,
Oakwood.
that's how you start, yeah. But then, you know, you get your apartment with a year lease, and then that becomes a 2-year lease, and then another apartment and a car, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I think I'm here to stay.
Yep, you build your community around you.
Yeah, so now you get to L.A., and I have a list of shows that you did.
Man.
I mean, you worked a lot when you got to LA. So CSI, Without a Trace, Cold Case, basically every show on CBS, right? Burn Notice, Bones, Law and Order Criminal Intent, Lie to Me.
Yes.
That's a lot of work.
Yes.
So it was consistent. And you were like working actor, going on auditions.
Yeah, man. It was just kind of like, you know, building your confidence up in the audition room. That's where, like, you know, I mean, auditioning is tough sometimes, but you know, I kind of like it now. Like before, I hated it. Now it's just like, you know.
Well, you have the confidence now.
I think that's
and
what
you know
it
what
is.
you're capable of. Yeah,
a little bit. And then it's just kind of like the fact that you know you're hunting for your food. You feel the pride and kind of like the satisfaction of just like knowing you went out there and you killed it. And you know, it's yours. You get to take it home.
Right.
So it's
I think some people have an image of actors are like sitting around their pool reading scripts all day, but they're like in their car driving from audition to audition,
trying to study in traffic, like trying to like learn these lines, pulling up in like.
And you're auditioning for different things every day, like a few different things a day. You have to play different characters. You have to, it's challenging.
Yeah, it is very challenging, very stressful, especially this time of year during pilot season.
Yeah,
you know, everybody's like, the city is humming right now with actors just in and out of auditions, driving from one part of town to the next, agents, managers, you know, the whole thing. It's a lot.
Well, speaking of television and pilot season, so 2011, you had a second big break. I guess if you can have more than one big break, but Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
You played Vince on Friday Night Lights. It's another critically acclaimed show. It's another show people say is their favorite, and it's another show that people are finding now on Netflix. It's so funny.
Yeah,
it's very similar to The Wire in that way.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Just you know, Peter Berg, Jason Katims, you know, they're like excellent, you know, storytellers, and you know, they built their show up from the ground up. You know, it was another one of those shows that was on the brink of getting canceled after season after season after season.
Which, looking back, you look at that cast. You know, you have Connie Britton and Kyle Chandler and Scott Porter and Minka Kelly and Taylor Kitsch.
You got Jesse Plemons,
incredible.
you know, Derek Phillips. You got an incredible cast.
Yeah, looking back, you're like, how could that not? How's that not a guarantee to stay in the air? And Kyle Chandler, I was talking about before you got here, because he's in Spectacular Now.
Yep.
And so now he's a movie star. He won the Emmy finally for playing Coach Taylor.
Yep.
Everybody knows the catchphrase from Friday Night Lights: "Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose." Yeah, people still quote it.
Yeah.
And Scott Porter was actually my guest episode 5. He played Jason Street, and then you came in after Scott, right?
I came in seasons 4 and 5.
Right.
The last 2 seasons, I was the new batch of characters that came in.
Right.
You know, and when the coach moved over to East Dillon.
Yeah.
And I played Vince Howard.
Had you watched the show before you joined it?
I haven't. Well, I got the box sets.
Oh, okay.
And I got caught up, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing.
That's kind of cool to join a show mid-run. You know,
it's fun and it's very very nerve-wracking because like, you know, the audience is everybody. They, you know, when it comes to television shows, they fall in love with their favorites, and when they're not around anymore and they got these new guys, they're like, who's this stepchild? Who is this kid? Like, why are you here?
Right.
And so, but you know, fortunately enough, they kind of like took to me, Matt and Madison and Journey.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
so Journey's back.
we started working. That was the first time I've actually seen her since '99 when we did the Cosby Show.
And what did she do before I remember Journey. Wasn't she was Michelle's friend on Full House?
Journey's been working since she was a little kid.
I think
like
she
way
was
before me.
I think she was Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's friend Denise, right? Or was it Denise? You remember she said Michelle?
I believe
on Full House?
I believe it. No,
I'm pretty sure that was her.
It's her.
I think so.
No, I mean then it was her. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she's
there wasn't
been
that
acting
many.
forever.
Yeah,
right.
she's been acting since she was like that young. So
yeah, actually,
sure.
she was great in a movie, the Denzel Washington movie, Great Debaters.
Yeah, she was excellent in that.
Yeah,
Journey's a strong actress.
She really
very
is.
Good, very fun to work with.
It's great to see like somebody grow up into this great actress,
powerful actress. Yeah,
but I think it's like what you said. It's you grow up surrounded by these people. So now you're on the set of Friday Night Lights, and you have Connie Britton and Kyle Chandler
going against Kyle Chandler.
It's incredible.
Highlight of my career.
He's finally getting his due now.
Yeah,
like before you got here, I was saying he's in Argo, he's in Zero Dark 30, 2 Best Picture nominees. I loved him on a show called Early Edition before Friday Night Lights. It was a show where he would get the newspaper a day early.
Okay.
So he could go around helping people, like the stories from the next day. He would spend the day preventing all the bad things from happening because he had the next day's newspaper. I loved it. It was like a fun show as a kid. I would watch, and Kyle Chandler was early edition.
Okay,
so that's a little Kyle Chandler
right,
history.
Yeah,
but Friday Night Lights. So you must all of a sudden gone from being the kid from The Wire to now the kid from Friday Night Lights. Like wherever you go,
that's kind of what it is.
Probably mentioned it.
Yep.
So you must be very proud of.
I am, man. I like Vince Howard, man. Vince Howard was a fun character to play, man. Yeah, I was surprised at how much material they gave me the last 2 seasons. It was first time as an actor you have the. I mean, you can say all the time, like, you know, I'm a good actor, I'm a good actress, whatever the case may be, but until you actually can prove it, you know, you have the material to actually dive in, then it's just, you know, just your opinion.
Right, exactly. And so also in 2011, somehow at the same time as Friday Night Lights, you joined Parenthood.
Like literally right after the Friday Night Lights ended, Jason Kadam, you know, called me up and was like,
creator, right?
Called me up and was like, hey, I need you to come over here and handle Alex.
And I was like, I'm going to do it.
Done. I mean, because, like, you know, you in this industry, you know, in this business, you start to make, you know, friends and relationships, and you build, and you trust what they can do, and
the quality of
their work, and that's definitely something that I wanted to do, and I was just like, you know,
I think Parenthood's a great show.
I love it.
It's really high quality, and it's on NBC. It's still on.
Yep.
You played Alex, who dated Hattie, who's the daughter of Peter Krause
and
Monica Potter.
Yep.
Right, and so. He was a great character, really likable. It's like that's sort of the pattern. You play these really likable guys, but sometimes they're misunderstood or prejudged.
Yes.
And so her parents didn't approve of her dating you, even though you were such a nice guy. You guys met at a shelter where you would like give food to people. I mean, how much nicer can you be? What was that like to be on the set of Parenthood? That's an incredible cast of actors.
It was it was similar to Friday Night Lights. You know, the crew, everybody, you know, very you know, you're allowed to improv. You know, the actors are very witty. You know, they can definitely like play with you in a scene.
Yeah, it's a different tone than Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a serious show, but it's maybe more comedic.
It has a little bit more comedic tones to it, but I think that the essence of the way we shoot and the way the actors are inside of scenes, I think is very similar.
Yeah.
Because he kind of brought that same model from Friday Night Lights to Parenthood, you know, and I think it served the show served it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a good experience for you, Parenthood. Okay, so then you become a movie star. 2012, last year, you had 2 popular movies back to back.
Yeah.
January. I remember actually I was at Sundance last year when Red Tails came out.
Okay.
And that was a hit movie. And then 2 weeks later, Chronicle comes out. February 3rd, 2012. So that's a year ago this week. #1 movie in the country. That now all of a sudden you're the kid from Chronicle.
Yeah.
So tell me about Chronicle, because if people didn't already know you from The Wire and from Friday Night Lights and from Parenthood, now they knew you from Chronicle.
Chronicle for sure.
Did you expect it to be the #1 movie in the country?
No, not #1. I thought we would do okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to do bad. I mean, who does a movie?
Well, no,
I
certain
guess it
things.
happens.
Yeah.
No, but like I felt really good about it.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to be a part of some very special projects and be on some really cool sets with some really cool people that care about making films just as much as I do.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, Chronicle was one of those movies where, you know, our director Josh Trank just had this vision.
But he was a first-time writer-director. He's like 25 years old.
No, I think he's 26 now. But still,
well,
so what? But same difference.
The movie,
same difference. Like 25
right.
did it. I mean,
crazy.
It was another one of those, like, he spoke our language. We got it. We clicked. It was the chemistry. Dane DeHaan and Alex Russell were excellent. You know, our chemistry, you know, we really got along.
It wasn't silly. I think that's why people liked it. It was like, it took itself seriously.
Yeah,
you know?
It was dark. It wasn't like some slapstick,
like
a teen, we have powers and stuff. No,
exactly. Because it could have been.
Easily been that.
Yeah.
But that wasn't Josh's take. It wouldn't have been. We want the ground Chronicle in reality, if that was even possible.
No, it was. It was like it's basically 3 high school friends start discovering they have these superpowers, like telekinesis. And you play a character named Steve
Montgomery.
And the thing with the movie is it's such like a visual experience seeing Chronicle. Like, it's so visual, and the special effects of, you know, your superpowers. So when you're reading that as a script, are you like, how are they going to pull this off?
I read it like a comic book.
Oh, okay.
I literally read like a comic book. It was just like I'm
like storyboarded.
Yeah, I mean, I love comic books, graphic novels. I'm all into that. So like Japanese animation and stuff. So when I was reading it, I read it like a Kira almost.
That's really interesting.
And it was just like, oh man, this is awesome. Like, this is great. I would love to play. I have powers. I move a car. Yes, I will do this. And it was just like one of those things. I just got really excited.
So did they sent you the script? They wanted you for that?
No, I had to audition.
You did audition.
I mean, I told myself I wanted. the audition process is about confidence. You have to go and say, "This is me," you know.
Right.
So
Do they give you the full script, or they give you sides? Oh,
yeah,
you do get the full
I got
script.
the script. I read it, you know, and it was just one of those things where it was just, you know, it was a cool script, great idea. It was all about execution. I mean, you never know 100% like how it's going to turn out, but I felt comfortable enough, like, you know, after talking to Josh, and they actually passed on me first. I'm actually
really?
Yeah, I'm throwing one on the bus.
You can tell that story. They
passed on me, and they went around the world and they searched, and they couldn't find anybody.
Wow!
So they came on back to MBJ.
Wow! And you were willing to take him back?
Because I wanted to do the project.
That's nice to know. There's no one else in the world better than you.
Hey, that's no.
They searched the world
just for Steve Montgomery.
Well, still for that movie.
Yeah, but it worked out.
You can search long and hard. You will not find anyone better for the role.
I like bothering Josh and Steve Asbell and Schroeder about that every once in a while. Those are the producers on the project.
How long was there? What was that wait time in between when you wanted it and when they finally came back?
A couple weeks.
Really?
A week or two.
So you probably maybe moved on thinking it wasn't yours.
Yeah, I mean, every audition, honestly, I go into it, like, I give it my all, and I have to try to forget about it. Like, I throw my sides away and everything. I just kind of, like, delete it from my brain until I get a phone call about, you know, otherwise. Because it's like you'll drive yourself crazy thinking, what if? How did I do? How did I not do? Oh, my God, did they like me? Did they not like me?
Right.
It's just, you know, it's just too much stress.
Right. So do you I mean, I guess you do care about feedback, but are you, because there's some actors who they need feedback on everything. Why didn't they get it?
Yeah.
Or if you don't get it, you just move on.
Well, it's like, you know, you audition, and then it's like, okay, cool. If I hear, you know, you're not moving further, it's like, all right, well, okay, well, no, it's like, all right, well, how do they feel? Like, why? So, like, is there anything I could do better? Just critique myself for the next time,
right?
Or for the next job, or whatever the case may be. But I don't really, I don't dwell on it. Like, you can't,
right? You
can't dwell on it. You just gotta, if it's not, and this is the way I kind of look at it. If it's not for you, you can't take nobody else's blessings away from anybody.
Right.
What's for you is for you.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, that's it.
Yeah. Have you seen movies that you wanted?
Yes.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, I see one in the movies. I was like, oh man, I really want that
Were you
role.
still happy for the other person who got it?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of happy, bro. Yeah, you're
but
happy.
also, the pattern of your life took it whatever direction it was supposed to go.
Exactly.
Into. So sometimes it works out for the best.
It's like a, human nature.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. I'm a little tight about this, but how mad can I really be? Let it go, whatever. Exactly. So you have a brief moment of like, oh shit, I really wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Right.
And then it's just like whatever.
So Chronicle comes out. That's like your first major role in a feature, right? First
yeah.
lead. Like there are 3 leads.
Three leads. I mean, for sure. That was like, yes, it was.
So you go to that premiere of Chronicle. What was that like?
We didn't even have a premiere.
Really?
We had a screening on the Fox lot.
Really? There was no premiere of Chronicle?
It wasn't a real premiere. It was like,
I guess
Fox,
they didn't realize it was going to do the amount of money it did.
Or the Fox is very strategic about how they promote films, and they're very smart about that, especially with a found footage movie.
Right.
They didn't want to kind of like make it like about actors. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to keep it as this thing that people would like discover. Like,
but the quality of it's different than a found footage movie. I think
sure.
It doesn't feel like a Blair Witch or like a Project X.
Not at all.
But I guess it essentially is.
It kind of is a found footage, but the way the cinematographer, the way we pulled it off was with the telekinesis. We've still got very cinematic.
Yes, you did
shots because we could levitate the camera and do
right.
So it gave it a different look than
it's
something
definitely
that was
original,
so shaky and grainy and only from one person's like point of view.
Yeah.
It was times all 3 of us could be on camera at the same time.
Yeah,
so it was good.
That's really cool, and it's another one of those movies that I think did really well on DVD and Blu-ray and iTunes downloads, and still people are finding it a year later. So now we talked about Fruitvale, which is 2013, and now you just got back from like 3 months in New York.
Yes,
you shot a movie very different than Fruitvale, called Are We Officially Dating?
Yes, sir.
And that was with Miles Teller, who I was talking about earlier, with Spectacular Now, and a friend of ours, Zac Efron.
Yes.
How much fun was that to work with 2 of your friends in New York City for 3 months?
That was pretty insane because I went. That was my coming home party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I got to go home.
I had to go back home for the holidays.
That's all I wanted to do is make a movie in New York.
Man.
Especially during that time of year, December in New York. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean.
Perfect.
It's pretty, besides the weather, it's pretty perfect.
Yeah. But you deal with it. Yeah. At Christmas time in New York, you just put on a scarf and a hat and you deal with it.
Just kind of whatever, exactly. This is what
it's Christmas in New York.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, it was incredible. I had a blast. I mean, we went out a lot.
Yeah.
That was kind of our bonding experience. Guys kind of bond over sports and going out and drinking, and girls. That's kind of how we bond.
And you were friends with Zach already.
Yeah. So but it was just kind of like for us to give the illusion that we were best friends since we were, 7th grade.
Yeah.
We really wanted to spend a lot of time around each other. So we went out a lot before we started shooting. Tom Gormican's a great first-time director.
So you work a lot with first-time writer-directors.
Yeah, I mean,
and you've had a lot of, it's successful.
They're
passionate.
I like working with the next generation. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love, working with, the more established directors, but it's also cool to do films with, guys that are up and coming as well.
And then you'll do the next one with them too. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure you'll do another movie with Ryan Coogler.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so Tom Gormican, he's an up and coming writer director. I remember the script. Are We Officially Dating? I remember he sent it to me several years ago. I mean, it was around, and it finally got made. It got the cast came together, location, shot it in New York. It's a romantic comedy, or it's like a buddy comedy.
It's a buddy. It's a romantic buddy comedy.
Yeah,
and it's about 3 best friends. I'm going through a divorce, so at 25.
Yeah,
and this is the first time and probably the last time that all 3 of us would be single. So we all make a promise to each other that we're going to stay single for as long as we can. Yeah, guys do stupid things. So and. Slowly but surely, we all start getting into these little weird situations and love, just is so spontaneous and out of the blue. People just get kind of caught off guard. And we end up lying to each other, and that's where the kind of comedy comes in, you know, of us trying to keep up with these lies between us and still hanging out and still going out. And then I think eventually the lies catch up to us, and it all comes to a head.
Yeah,
and then,
I think that could be really popular. I think people,
cool.
I think people, a good comedies are hard to come by sometimes.
Definitely.
But I think for you, especially for 2013, to have Fruitvale and Are We Officially Dating, completely different. It's important to have, such a heavy movie, balance it out with a little light,
yeah.
comedy.
I mean, just to kind of at the end of the day, I want to show range.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to have 2 movies like that that potentially might come out back to back.
Yeah.
And give 2 different sides of me.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
And especially, so now Are We Officially Dating will come out, and the casting director and Tom Gormican are going to look like geniuses because they got the kid from Spectacular Now and the kid from Fruitvale in the movie together. I mean, those were the 2 award winners at Sundance.
Yeah.
And Zac Efron while they're at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. We made him look good.
Yeah.
We made Tom look real good. You heard that, Mr. Gormican, wherever you are?
Yeah.
We made you look good.
When that movie comes out, we'll have you back. Maybe I'll have Zach on, too. We'll talk about that movie.
And Miles.
Yeah, and Miles. I would love to. I actually don't know Miles. I mean, sort of on this show, I've had people that I'm friends with, but Miles can come along.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah,
I've met him. I've met him.
Miles is a cool guy.
And he's also another kid on the brink.
For sure.
Gonna blow up when Spectacular Now comes out, for sure.
And even 21 and over is just getting ready to come out.
Oh, yeah, 21 and over. It's like a younger hangover.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's a big year for you guys. Like you said, you're always trying to show your range. So, I'm a big fan of yours as a person, but now also as an actor. So who is it whose career are you emulating? Is it like, when you're 25 years old, who are you looking at? Like a Leonardo DiCaprio for longevity? I mean, I'm looking at, honestly, like the Ryan Goslings, the Sean Penns, the Tom Hanks, the Denzel, the Will Smiths. Yeah. Well, that's everyone at Sundance is saying you're the young Denzel. Yeah, but it's like, which is cool. I'm humbled to even be in the same sentence as that man. But, at the same time, I'm my own person, too. Yeah. And I kind of, I want people to know that's Mike B. That's Mike, And well, Ryan Gosling's an interesting answer, too, because he does do those smaller movies like Half Nelson and Blue Valentine, and he really a lot of times puts the material first. I'm sure those are not big paychecks, but he gets the critical acclaim. And that's at the end of the day, you want to be respected. Yeah, it's cool to have the balance. For sure. And I want to do both. I want to have a career that's that's focused on the work, and then I also want a career that's been able to get that nice check. Yeah, of course. It's kind of cool. But do you think about awards? Like, no, you don't. I can't. So if a year from now we play this tape back and you're nominated for Best Actor for Fruitvale, is that just? If I'm not. Listen, you have Harvey Weinstein behind you. If we look back at this a year from now, and I'm nominated for Best Actor, I don't. I'm trying to think of something. Oh man, dude. It just will be. It'll be surreal. Very surreal, man. It'll mind blowing. Oh man. But that's why I believe when where do you go from there? I know. Where do you go from there at 25? Like, I don't know. Going to go 2? Daniel Day-Lewis is going to win 3. Oh man. I guess it's you just keep going.
yeah, just gotta keep going. It'll be definitely humbling. It'll be kind of cool to take that back to my to my hometown.
That'd be amazing. And I just got chills. I pictured the jersey, the return to Jersey.
Yeah,
I understand that.
That'd be big for me to put that up in my high school.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and give the other generation that's coming up something to look forward to.
And listen, I believe people when they say the nomination, it's just an honor to be nominated. It is. I mean, you're picked as one of the top 5 of the year.
Yes.
Have you seen the movies that are nominated this year?
I haven't seen a lot of movies this year.
Haven't seen them?
I have not seen a lot of movies.
I would say you have to see Argo. Did you see Argo?
I saw Argo. I
think
it.
It's got the momentum for Best Picture. I really loved it too.
Ben was very smart in this. Like when I first heard about it and I saw the trailer and stuff like that, I was immediately thinking Munich. Mm-hmm. I immediately thought the movie Munich, kind of like that kind of feel.
But that was a slower, darker,
very,
and that was like the
gory,
terrorist point of view.
Right. And this one is kind of like I kind of
much more accessible story,
very much so, very smarter. Like Ben, is definitely he's matured in his storytelling,
absolutely,
and knowing that you don't have to go to like a lot of cheap gimmicks to get people's attention.
Yeah,
he's very like you might have seen one person get killed throughout the entire movie, but it's always that angst and anticipation, or like what's going to happen next.
Well, Argo is similar to Fruitvale in a way, in that you go into it already knowing how it ends.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're able to enjoy a movie and go along for the ride, knowing how it's going to end, is a huge testament to the filmmakers and everyone involved in that. And so I guess the other movie that I love this year, Silver Linings Playbook.
I haven't seen that yet either.
Go see that. Try to see that before the Oscars for sure. Jennifer Lawrence is younger than you, and she might win Best Actress.
That's awesome.
So it's not about the age.
I'm proud of her, man. No, it's awesome. I just love the fact that they're giving young people a chance now because we're not as stupid as people think we are, and we know something. We've been working for a long time, so it's like
What else is interesting, too, I think it's going to be Jennifer Lawrence and Anne Hathaway. And so Jennifer Lawrence for Silver Linings Playbook, but she had Hunger Games this year, a huge franchise movie. And then Anne Hathaway for Les Miserables, but she had Dark Knight this year.
Yeah.
So it shows that, you can still be taken seriously and still have these huge blockbuster franchise movies. It doesn't take away from your craft as an actor.
No, it just depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like the integrity behind the work that you're putting out. I think that's the biggest thing. Some people just don't make good choices, and I just want to always make good choices. Yeah.
So we do something here on the list called the mystery question.
Oh, man.
Which is at the end of every show, I have my guest open an envelope which has a question from my last guest on my last episode.
Okay.
So my guest on the last episode was Ben Lyons.
Oh, so
he was a huge fan of Fruitvale. I mean, his tweets, because he actually wrote me, because the first couple of days he was working, but at the festival, but didn't get to see the movies. And he's like, "Tell me what I have to see." Right after Fruitvale, I sent him an email, and it was, "You must see Fruitvale."
Okay.
And a couple days later, he wrote back that he just saw it, and he goes, "That's the best movie I've ever seen at Sundance." And this is a kid who's been seeing movies at Sundance for years.
Yeah.
So, and seeing everything. So he tweeted that it was the best movie he's seen, and he and Octavia were going back and forth on Twitter. So he was a huge fan of Fruitvale. So it's serendipitous that he was the guest on the last one with a question, but he doesn't know who my guest is, so that's why it's a mystery question. And then you'll leave one for the next guest. So this is for you to leave for my next guest next time. And this is how we close the show with the question from Ben Lyons that I don't even know what it is. So it could be anything.
Oh, man.
I like this part because it's like one thing that I didn't prepare.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty good. It's usually pretty smart.
Let me see what you got here, Mr. Lyons. If you could be any dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be? Love, Ben Lyons.
Something you probably have never thought about.
If I could be a dinosaur, I guess my mind first went to like a velociraptor only because it's cool, but I don't know if I want to be a velociraptor. Maybe a pterodactyl. Pterodactyls are kind of cool.
I thought that too because they can fly.
It's the flying element.
That's where my head
at the end of the day, you can at least hide out. It's so like many like predators down there. I could at least go to the sky and like chill out and go chill up in a tree somewhere.
Right.
I'm going with pterodactyl.
All right. Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, there's your card and a pen and an envelope for next week's guest. You can ask anything in the world. And with that, we close the show with you. I have another guest coming on, Jordan Vogt Roberts. He directed Toys House, which was also at Sundance.
Nice.
So this is a Sundance special.
Sundance special?
Yeah. I feel very lucky that my friends are doing so well that they have movies at Sundance. They can come talk to me about it.
Hey, I'm going to keep working. Keep working.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, let's do it. And hopefully we work together, too, as director and actor. That's
exactly.
the goal.
That'd be cool, too.
That's the goal.
That'd be awesome.
So thank you very much for being here, Michael B. Jordan.
No problem. Thanks for having me,
I appreciated it. I thought it was really fun, really insightful. I've been looking forward to this. And
thanks, man.
There you go. Fill out your mystery question.
I gotta figure it out. I don't know what to write.
It could be anything.
Hooray for Hollywood! Hooray for Hollywood! So misunderstood, so keep fighting.